Guys, we're going to talk about the second thing that you must keep in mind when returning serve. Now, the first thing was obviously about seeing what's on the serve, what can you do and what can't you do. The second thing you must ask yourself is, how can I control the point from the very get-go? And yes, you don't need to be getting into rallies of 5-10 shots before you can control the point. You can control the point from the very start. Now, you want to think to yourself, what am I good at? What is going to win me the point against this guy or this girl? Now, if you don't know them, you want to ask what is probably going to win points against this guy or this girl. Or if you've already played a set, ask yourself what works and what doesn't. Table tennis, it's your job to figure out what works and what doesn't. Right? There may be very minute things in there, like if you play a first spin here, they play an awkward block and you lose the point a lot of the time. Versus if you just shift that spin up, first spin here, you win the point all the time. It could be whenever you start pushing short, you get easy access to open all the time and you win. So find ways to do that. Now, obviously keep in mind number one, you've got to realize from a serve what you can and can't do based on those three things we talked about. The spin that's on the serve, the length, and also whether it's high or low. Second thing is we're trying, yes, second thing keep in mind, we're trying to control the point. So quickly we're going to go, okay, what am I good at? Now for me, I know personally I want to get the first spin. Whether that's from opening, I don't want to be the first one to have the block or counter spin. I personally don't prefer to push long and then wait for the opponent to top spin and block. Fan Jindong prefers it, he often does it, right? But personally, I know myself through enough experience to know that I want to be putting the ball short, getting in first, putting the opponent under pressure that way. I want to be opening first if it's a short serve. I want to be opening first if it's a long serve. No matter what long serve they give me, side spin, half long, I just have the skills to be able to do that. Now, I always wanted to get in that position. And I'm saying you can too, at club level, that it's not a necessity to be a master at pushing long and then blocking or counter spinning, but you should learn how to do it. Now, more to today's topic, you'll see me and Gabriel, we're gonna play the point out, but you'll see that what a lot of people don't see is that the serve, the first, because table tennis rallies only last between one to 4 shots, right? Now, the higher level you get, the lower it tends to be because the quality of the serve and receive in the first attack is so high that points aren't going to last long. If you watch a full match, you'll realize this. So without further ado, me and Gabriel are going to play a few serves, and you'll see from the get-go, I'm not just trying to put the serve back. I'm trying to go, okay, what is going to be hard for him? Because ultimately, table tennis, you're playing a 1v1 sport, or 2v2 if it's doubles, but for the most part, it's 1v1, and you're trying to do what works against the opponent. Yes, sometimes when you have strengths, I know my strength is getting the first spin and being really strong after the spin. That works against most people, so that's what I'm looking to do. So you'll see, as soon as he serves, my intentions are to really be aggressive from the get-go. Does aggressive mean I have to be smashing balls? Of course not. It just means I have to be trying to control the point from the very start. 40. Nice, man. Ooh, I misread that one, but I just try to make the best decision with what I got. Aim for the best you can do rather than perfection. Which could be counterintuitive because in one sense you want to train until you can't get it wrong. I want to push the ball short against all different sorts of spins until I can't get it wrong in the fact that I'm always going to push it back long and short. But in reality, in a match, you're training so you can be as good as possible in a match. But in a match, sometimes you'll put it up, sometimes you'll be imperfect, right? But you make the best decision with what you've got. In training is where you're obviously trying to be perfect. As a generalization, right? There's exceptions to all these rules and generalizations. But now we're doing more sort of match play. You'll see this one here, he caught me out. I didn't expect him to serve wrong. But I'm just gonna try to win the point the best I can. That's another ability that athletes possess. Good athletes. So that one there again, I tried to push short and I actually slipped longer than I thought. This is also reasons why you guys have to be able to counter spin and block against first spin, which we'll talk about in the course later. Nice. Bravo, bravo. See, I've told Gabriel a lot, serve short and long here. And now as someone who's trying to beat him with points, it's kind of biting me a little bit. I'm slow to come in because I'm like, short or long. And because it was short, I just try to make the best decision with what I got. But in my mind there, I did want to push the ball short. I do want to get in first. It's just making it hard for me. So sometimes he might serve a long ball and I might win the point straight away, but there is an after effect. Right? Even if I hit a winner, I am now like, ooh, he has the guts to serve long. Like my speed to come in here is going to drop by half a second, which is a lot in table tennis, which means oftentimes your opponent's return to serve quality will also drop. Last ball, winner takes everything in the world. Nah!
All right, guys, let's talk about my mental processes on how to return serve, how I operate with the two main things that I teach you guys to think about, and how you guys can do it. So see here, I'm really focused on his contact when he hits it, right? What he does just before the hit and what he does on the hit. So what he does just before the hit, he winds back a little bit, but knowing Gabriel and playing in enough points with him, and you guys can pick this up very early on. If someone goes extra back, really far back, they're probably going to do a long serve. For the most part at club level, that's what's going to happen. So on his serve, if you rewind it, you see that I'm really focused on the way he hits it. He hits slightly upwards on the ball. And in my mind, I'm straight away knowing 90% sure it's most likely going to be topspin. Then when it hits and I see the travel of it, then I'm 100% sure it's topspin. So there you see me go for the flick. Right, now let's see what he does on the next one. So we're going to see what happens before. It also is before he chucks it up, right? You'll see later when he serves one long, you'll see the difference. So he's here. I'm really focused on what he does before the serve, and more importantly, what he does when he contacts it now. I see he slightly goes up. It's a little bit of topspin, but not much. His topspin and backspin look very similar, but here I decided it's topspin, and you see me angle it when I push it, right? I push it short very well, putting him under pressure. And he comes in late. He gives me a long ball that's loose, and I'm already very practiced in the art of getting in on a half long ball, stepping in on a half long ball and spinning that first ball on, or also putting it away with good speed if it's up there and high, right? If it's there to be put away, I'll do it. If it's more easy to spin up, I'll just spin it and put the opponent under a lot of pressure. Let's look at what he does now. He serves. Remember the two main things. First, what are the characteristics of the serve? And then what can I do with it to get control of the point? So you see his wind back? It's huge. And I get a good feeling. I'm ready for it in advance. All right, this guy's probably going to serve long. Right, with experts like Truls Morgard, he's serving short and long will look exactly the same. But for the most part at club level, which is you guys, you're going to be able to see the difference if you really focus enough. So if you rewind this clip, you'll see that when Gabriel served, he took his body back more than he normally does. Now, this is not something that he subconsciously knows about. He just does it and isn't aware that he's doing it. But as the receiver, you want to be aware. Oh, he's taking his body back more than usual. That's a given sign he's probably going to serve long. So you got to be ready. All right, let's see what he does now. Compared to the last serve, you'll see his wind back. See, it's way more compact. It's way more shorter inwards. Right, I decide that this is going to be backspin. So very early on, I then see how it's coming to me. What is the length? I see that it's short. I feel that it's short, so I have to push. I come in pretty late though. If you rewatch that, I come pretty late and I wasn't sure of making a good short push with two bounces that is low. So I'm like, screw it. I'm just going to go long because I'm not confident in making a good short push. A good short push that bounces twice forces the opponent to come in and then you get to play the first spin. At club level, they are never going to push it back short. So I push long and I surprise him and he's not ready for it. Now let's see this one. You see it's probably topspin and it looks long from the start. You see I'm late as well because I'm not sure. And you see I try to go short, but I failed to go short even though that was my intention. But because I've got a good counter spin and I've practiced that and I'm aware of it, I was able to save myself in this rally. Now, Gabriel is someone who's very intentional because I coach him. I coach him to intentionally start the point, trying to get advantage of it, trying to get the first spin, be able to counter spin if another club level player does spin at him. And you see here, he plays the first spin to me. If you guys get the first spin to an opponent's forehand at club level, you are almost always going to win the point. At least 9 times out of 10, as long as your forehand spin up is just even reasonably good. Because people don't know how to counter spin at a club level. This doesn't work against pros. All right, let's see what he does in this one. So he throws it up. I still see here he doesn't go back as much as he did on the long serve. It's probably going to be short. I then see the contact. I decide it's top spin, and I'm right. And I decide to play a really fading flick to surprise him. He actually makes a good recovery, even though he expected me first to flick to his forehand. This is another thing we'll talk about in another video, teaching you guys how to forehand flick or flip, depending on which part of the world you are from and how you call it. But yeah, you see the points are quick here. The points are, we are being aggressive on the serve, on the receive. We're trying to win points and control points very early on. So don't spend a lot of your time practicing this sort of stuff, because is it important? Hell damn yeah. So, all right. So the first thing, again, it repeats. I watch, what are his actions? Is it going to be a short or long serve? Is it going to be backspin? Is it going to be long or half long or short? Is it going to be topspin? And this one was actually more subtle. So see, as a result, it also got me by surprise. I made a recovery, and sometimes even just putting the ball back with not much perceived quality, but I put the ball back, I was behind my back, he got me off guard, and it actually put him under pressure to put the ball back, so he missed. Here, I failed to push short again. He this time played the first spin to my backhand, and you see, I then was not ready for it, and he won the point. Right, even against a professional like myself, that worked, right? Getting the first spin works. I'm telling you guys, this is not stuff I made up yesterday. It's stuff that I've lived through experience and taught hundreds of clients how to do and get better results from it. All right, let's see it again. So what's on this? What are the characteristics? Another long serve. He's making his long serves more subtle now. And you see he's winning points because of it. So the trick, if you guys can do this hack, you'll get a lot better. If you can make short and long serves look the same, you're going to have much better service just from that. The doubt you'll create is unreal. See, I see backspin. I make a good side spin push. I spin, and he counter spins, right? If you play against other quote-unquote club-level dodgy players, that will work. But Gabriel, we've actually worked on his counter spin, again, for so many hours. You have no idea how many times. So therefore, he was able to counter spin. You see here, I just maneuvered that first spin to the backhand when he expected me to play cross-court. This is another different nuance. We don't have to dive too much into this just yet. But let's have a look at the next serve. So, again, I'm looking for, what's the first main thing? Go back to the video if you haven't watched it. What are the characteristics of the serve? And then what can I do with it? That's a long serve. This time I expect it. And you see, I was in control at this point. I just got a bit arrogant here.
From the get-go, as the server, he's trying to gain control of the point straight away. Now, the benefit of being a server is you control, this is the one shot in table tennis that you control. And you can see Gabriel on the serve, he's trying to execute what he wants. I'm trying to fend him off and execute what I want. Right, so table tennis is a tug of war. Now, you have to be able to return serve well, because you can get away with a low serve that's no spin if your next attack is good. You can't get away with just putting your bat there and return and hoping. So again, the two things that I told you guys to keep in mind when returning are everything, and they're so important, because first thing to keep in mind, the spins, the height, the information, right, the 3 questions. If you don't know how to return a serve well, you're not going to be able to play the game well, because everyone's just going to serve, they're going to control the point against you. The second one is, on a better note, you want to control the points. So you will see in the points there, he's trying to control the point straight away. I'm trying to control the point straight away. Points don't last long. It's a tug of war. It's intense from the get-go. And that's frankly how table tennis should be. So if you're already someone who struggles with returning serve, it's not okay. You need to return serve well if you want to get better. So take these notes, and I'll see you guys in the next video.